I need you to know that I tried, okay? I tried to not talk about the internet on the internet, and yet here we are. Here we are again. I'm coming to you on Big Creatrix Energy as Gabriella Rosie to tell me that, look, we're all performance artists. We're here, we're doing the thing. We have this tool, we have this ability, and if you don't want to use it, you do not have to use it. You can turn the internet off. You can throw your phone in a lake and carry on living your life in a gorgeous way. But also, if you do want to use it, if you enjoy the fact that we can find people, connect with people that we simply would literally never be able to without these devices, without whatever magic happens, whatever the internet fucking literally is, it allows us to find people who are like us. It allows us to connect with people who see the world like us, but also people who see the world differently and show us different solutions. When I think back to being like 14 years old and scrolling through blogs and seeing what other people were creating, that shit opened my mind. That shit gave me the confidence to be like, I also want to be on the internet sharing the things I create, talking to people about my ideas. And isn't that just like the hottest, most exciting thing, that we can press record, that we can talk out loud to a camera in our spare room of our house, and we can connect with each other. We can have conversations. I can find people who see the world like me, who want to hear what I have to talk about, because the truth is, in everyday life, most people don't want to have the certain conversations that I want to sit down and talk to myself about and initiate these conversations with, you know, for lack of a better word, complete strangers on the internet. And instead of reserving ourselves to live within our own heads and not have space to have the conversations that we want to have and to indulge in the ideas that excite us, we can use the internet as a tool and a place and a medium. And that is why I wrote on a post-it today that we are all performance artists if we want to be. There are like so many nuances to add to everything, and it bores the shite out of me to feel like I always have to add the nuances to explain every different layer and every different level that things could be. And I want to just put the preface here that there are always going to be infinite different layers, infinite different ways of doing something, and I don't have to explain all of those layers, and you don't have to explain all of those layers to other people either. But I think if you've clicked on this, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this right now, then you probably are interested in the fact that you get to be a performance artist and that you get to use the internet as your own creative medium. I can feel myself like wanting to avoid talking about the internet over and over again, because a lot of when people talk about the internet or make videos about the internet and how we can use the internet and we can use it even as a creative device, a lot of that comes down to racking up views and racking up followers and this kind of metric-based success thing. And I do believe and I do know that there's a time and place for that, because she's adding caveats again, because it works, it's helpful. If your goal is in any level, at any degree, to have people, to find the people who give a shit about your art and pay you for the art so you can go on and create more art, so you can create more things, then it is going to be in your best interest to reach as many people as possible who are interested in the things that you create. And so it makes sense to understand the strategies and the techniques that might work to help you showcase yourself, to put a bigger spotlight on yourself online, to put yourself in front of the people who will give a shit about the things that you create. But I need to make it very clear, I need to note that that is absolutely not the be all and end all. There are so many different phases and waves and versions of virality on the internet, and I honestly think that most of them are completely ineffective in getting you closer to your goals. Having eyeballs on your stuff for the sake of it, having numbers beside the things that you share for the sake of it, isn't gonna get you where you want to go if those people aren't your people, aren't the people who care about the certain things that you're creating, but they're maybe just paying attention because you used a certain hashtag, or it hit the algorithm, or you used a trending sound that happened to be the thing that you know, got eyeballs on it. Not all eyeballs are of the same value to you. And not all things need to be seen by trillions of people. And in fact, you know, there's the Kevin Kelly 1000 True Fans thingy-majig. Read the article if you haven't already read the article. But basically, you can be successful in the financial, literal sense of you can make enough money to live comfortably by only having 1000 true fans. So you don't need billions upon billions of views and billions upon billions of people paying attention to you necessarily. It can be fun, but it's not necessary. And I think actually when we allow ourselves to be really specific and be really nuanced and to give less of a shit about reaching the masses with the things that we create and the things that we go on to share, then we can like delve down deep into what it is you actually want to say and the ways that you actually want to share it by being nuanced, by being specific. And doing that means being somewhat exclusionary. Not exclusionary in the sense that you're like, this isn't for you, but also kind of yes, that if you are not willing, like if you want to turn people on by the things that you create, you also have to be willing to turn people off. If you want to stand in the spotlight that is so very specifically for you, and it's people who are coming across you, it's you letting yourself indulge in your art and your message in the way that feels most creatively enriching to you, that's probably going to mean not doing it in the way that is like the trending way to do it that month. And I did a masterclass inside the Creatrix Coven, my membership for creative bitches who want to make things and be seen and share their art and fucking love the whole process of it. I did a masterclass this month in there on how to make the internet your bitch. And look, she's being a silly billy about it. I'm talking about like how to go viral in a sense with your art, how to share yourself, an approach, if you will, to using the internet in a way that actually works in your favor, that actually works towards your specific goals and the things that you genuinely want to build an audience for, the reasons why you genuinely want to have people paying attention to you and how you're moving. And this is how I see it, like the internet can be your favorite creative modality. It can be a tool for you to explore yourself and express yourself, and it's almost like we shy away from the spotlight or shy away from wanting to be seen as wanting a spotlight, and it seems as if that's like a negative thing, or that's something that we shouldn't announce to people, or that we should be avoiding of wanting to be seen. And like, look, if you don't want to be seen, that's all fair and well, but if you want to be seen and you're denying to yourself the sheer fact, the simple fact that you want to be seen, you want your art to be seen, you want people to know about who you are, what you create, what you think, what you feel, then who the fuck is it serving for you to stay in a shell about that, for you to restrict yourself, for you to play small about that, when actually the most beautiful giving thing that you can do to yourself and to the people who are like desperately hungry and starving for your art, even though they don't even know it exists yet, the most giving thing you can do is be like, I'm gonna be brave enough to make this thing, to finish this thing and scream about it on the internet. I'm gonna be the one who takes up the space, because we all have our own space. Taking up your space doesn't take space away from anybody else. That's not the thing, right? But when you choose to be like, this is important to me, this feels interesting and exciting as something to explore, so I am going to get the fuck out of my own way, get out of my own cocoon of a mind that's keeping me small, that's holding me back from how I actually want to exist in my life, and I'm gonna let myself share myself. I'm gonna let myself finish a project and tell people about it. When we do that, like, we put ourselves in a different realm. For me, like, giving myself the space to call myself an artist and to show up in the world as an artist the more I do that, the more I delve into what that looks like and feels like for me, the more I become myself, the more I get to know myself, the more I see the world as something that I can be creative with, the more I see like my life as something that I can be experimental with, and the more it kind of breaks down these restrictions of like, this is the way something has to be done. This is the way you post on Instagram. This is the way you record a video. This is the way you like have a fucking job. If you don't want to fall into like the system, if you will, if you don't want to just have the cookie cutter life, or if you don't want to fall into what you feel is expected of you, then like you have to be brave enough to create an alternative for yourself. You have to be willing to be seen living and creating this alternative example, this alternative reality that you crave, and you can be the person who's like leading by example. You can be the person who's willing to figure it out loud. And so when we think about being a performance artist, it really is that. It's like, it doesn't have to be like this cheesy, corny thing of like hashtag lifestyle influencer, even though whatever. You know, you are a performance artist, whatever way you slice it, whatever way you dice it. When you make something and you let anybody else see it, whether that's like your friend, your family member, whether that's a potentially infinite amount of people on the internet, whenever you let somebody witness you, whether it's like you're putting on a look and you're walking down the street, you're letting other people observe you. You are creating performance art with every single aspect of your life, whether it's on purpose or not. Because really everything we do is a choice. Whether the choice is like, I can't be asked to get dressed up today, or the choice is I'm gonna pull a look, that's a choice. And the way you present yourself to the world has impacts on other people. And I, for one, find it really exciting. I think it's really exciting that I can influence other people around me in really tiny ways and really big ways. And through being intentional about that, through being purposeful and considered about that, I can create the kind of changes that I want to see in the world. And sometimes those changes are like completely shifting the way someone sees themselves, and opening and cracking open like someone's reality to really see themselves as an artist, and to really allow themselves to start showing up in their own life as an artist and a creatrix. And sometimes it's just like, I don't know, I want someone to like have a little smile, have a little giggle, see a colour combination that makes them feel a little bit of something. Like, it can be in really big ways and really little ways. Maybe I just want someone to use a mug that I made and it adds like a millimeter of joy to their day, and that is a lot. Like, that millimeter of joy can be the difference between someone having a shitty day and having an alright day, and that's big. I feel like I'm saying a lot and saying nothing at the same time, and that's okay, because I've been going on this journey with myself of deciding like how I want to use the internet. And that's obviously why I'm continually interested in talking about the internet and how we can use it and what this tool is. And the more I lean into seeing the internet as a place to do performance art, the more it feels really exciting. And sometimes it's like the idea, the concept of performance art can sound really daunting, like I have to like cover myself in tulle and paint my face and do this big extravagant thing, when really like the simplest, you don't have to change anything, you don't have to put on a different character per se. You can show up exactly as yourself, and you being yourself, you showing the world through your own lens, is a different perspective, and therefore it is a different performance that maybe people haven't seen and want to see and want to be able to have an opportunity to live through. And it's only through us taking the time to press record and to press share and to figure out ourselves in the process. Like, not feel like you have to be ready, not feel like you have to show up with a completely solid perspective and a completely crystal clear idea and message and lens that you know for a fact you want to share with other people, but actually let yourself show up in the messy, show up in the, I don't know what this is, but I feel compelled to press record and share this thing and have these thoughts and have these ideas. and put them on the internet, and that in itself is performance art. I don't know, maybe I'm talking bullshit, but I really want to share more and chat more and have conversations where I feel like I'm not having to be right all the time. And I want this to be a conversation. I want my contribution to add to a bigger conversation. If listening to this has made you have your own ideas, then you can also turn on your camera and press record and speak your ideas out loud and figure it out in the process. Allow capturing your own growth to be the performance art itself. Allow your evolution and your growth to be the performance art, and like, stop feeling like you have to have it all right. Stop feeling like you have to stand for one clear, solid, definable thing, and everything that you share has to follow like this clear trajectory. It's dull as fuck, it's over, we don't even want to see that stuff. Press record, contribute, share your art, share yourself. I'm out.